Yo guys, what's good, what's happening, what's going on? Welcome to everybody's favorite game show, Commenting on Comments, where I comment on the comments you left on the previous videos. So without further ado, let's get on with this show. Our first comment today comes from Justin4N6 that says, I kind of like toothpaste green. Why would you? And same, I drive like a grandpa. It's the only way to drive. I went to Academy a few weeks ago, didn't have what I wanted. We can order it. It'll be in later this week. I ordered it on Amazon. It was here 5 a.m. the next day and a few dollars cheaper. I know, right? Like, why order it from a store when you can order it from Amazon and get it way sooner? That's my argument with Best Buy all the time, is like, if they don't have it in stock, I'll get it elsewhere. Not a big deal. Timothy Hennigar 7484 says, hey vloggin', do scampering with scampers, basically getting scampers in blooper and unscripted antics with sound dubbed overlay. Speaking from experience when I had my tuxedo cat Tux. Sounds like basically what you want me to do is what I used to do with Felix back in the older days. I used to have him talking and you know, we'd have conversations. It was me dubbing over the conversation, obviously. He didn't talk. And it was really funny when my dad came over and he'd look at Felix and be like, well, talk to me. Why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you talking to me? I'm like, Dad, he doesn't talk. It's just a cat. But it sounds like you're thinking along those lines of having scampers talk like Felix used to. And I don't know, I thought about bringing back Talking Cat, but then I was like, that might be kind of a ripoff from the Felix days. 2CV Bloke says, thinking about the time difference between there and here in the UK, the times I was gaming with you guys. Yeah, I was awake through the night for that. Though that's just because I'm broken and my days are more like that of Bajor. 26-hour days, if you forgot that from Deep Space Nine. Yeah, I thought about that after I found out the fight was at 1 o'clock, and I'm like, whoa, that's like a 5-hour difference. So like, we were back in the day, I would work until midnight and then come home and game with the guys. We'd play like PlayStation 4 or whatever, and you know, sometimes I'd live stream, sometimes I'd just record and put the content up on Skaven Games. But we would go from midnight to like 4 or 5 in the morning. And that means that 2CV was basically gaming from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. his time. Brutal. Clock Dude 1500 says, I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed it getting darker much earlier this year. I work 3 to 11 and take my first break at 6 p.m. and there was usually still a bit of daylight left by that point last year, not this year. It's pitch black when I go on break. See, I was watching a video online about how the Earth spins. It's on an angle, right? So when it goes around the sun, it's like this. Apparently, what he said is it's starting to tilt even more. And the Earth does this periodically where it goes like here and then it'll lean in and it does one of these. Like it kind of almost does this. And apparently the Earth is a bit more off axis, which is not something to be concerned about. It does this. It's just we never noticed it before because, you know, we've only been here, what? Human lifespan's 100 years. So, and it takes like apparently like 10,000, 15,000 years for it to complete a complete rotation on the axis. It's not a problem. It's just the way the world works. And I'm wondering if that is the reason why, like 4:35, it's pretty much dark out around here, which it wasn't like that in 2020. So annoying. Justin4N6 says, I went laser printer a few years ago. Best decision ever. Duplex scanning and printing. So nice to have at home. Don't need it often, but nice to have. I do a purge every so often. Definitely something that needs to happen periodically for me too. Yeah, I accumulate a lot of garbage over time, a lot of stuff that I just don't use. And I need to get on more purges more often because, yeah, don't need the clutter. Don't need the clutter. But as far as the laser printer goes, I'm thinking about going that route. You don't need to print all the time, but when you do, it's nice to be able to. And with inkjets, if you don't print all the time, the ink dries up and then you end up having to go out and buy new ink. And that's $60 for a black cartridge just to print 3 pieces of paper and then let it sit for 6 months to have it go dry again. No bueno. Apparently Justin's a popular one. He comments on every video, that's why, which is great. I appreciate it. But Justin4N6 once again says, get something small for POV shots when working on stuff. Insta360 Go 2 or Go 3 on a hat might work, or those meta glasses. I also have my GoPro Hero on the necklace mount. I showed that mount a while ago. It's nice, it works great. And I could theoretically attach my phone to that neck mount as well and use that. The problem with the Meta glasses is it films with the phone in this, like in 9:16. It doesn't film 16:9. And it's meant for making those like YouTube shorts and Facebook reels and stuff. It doesn't really do that great of a job when it comes to filming a 16:9 full length. I think it only records for a minute as well. But I've been looking at those Meta glasses. They look kind of neat, but it's not something I really need. Clock Dude 1500 says, you are spot on when you said people are being a lot more frugal with money nowadays. 5 years ago, I was selling antique grandfather clocks for a decent amount and sometimes would sell 2 a week. Fast forward now, I only have sold like 2 this whole year. Holy crap, that's a big depreciation in sales. People just don't have money to freely spend on things that aren't a necessity anymore. One day I'll learn to read, guys, but today's not that day. Okay, you sell grandfather. Are you building grandfather clocks? Is that what you do? Is that why your name's Clock Dude? I'll have to check out your channel and see if that's what you do. But yeah, that's brutal, man. 2 a week from 2 a year, like that's hardcore drop. But it's like that, right? Like people can barely afford to feed themselves. People are going to the food banks to get handouts because they can't afford to feed themselves. It's getting rough, it's getting tough, and it's not good. It's not a good time. Like, I don't know how it is in the US, but here in Canada, things are getting brutal, and the programs they want to initiate is only going to make things worse, even though, you know, they're going to be taking taxes off of essential items and such starting December 14th, but only until February 14th. So it's like, it's a 2-month break on paying sales tax on certain items, not all items, but that's not going to solve the problem because that means the government's not making that money, which means now they're going to have to find money and it's going to cost us more money in the end, especially because they want to give a $250 stimulus check to anybody who worked in 2023, not including the ODSPers, like anybody who's on a disability. In Ontario, we have ODSP, Ontario Disability Support Pension. And then they have like old age pension. Anybody on old age and disability won't see that $250 stimulus check because they didn't work in 2023, unless they did work. Because you can be on ODSP and still make $1,200 a month before the government will start taking away from your ODSP check. So there's ways around that, obviously, but if you didn't work in 2023, you won't be seeing that $250. Jessica S 2379 says, wow, that price for laundry detergent is nuts. Also toilet paper. You would think such critical items would stay super cheap. Don't get me started on fruits and veggies too. Not too long ago, I was looking at apples at Superstore and couldn't choose any of them because they were super wrinkled and squishy. I think such perishable items should be capped at $1 or $2. And that's the thing, right? Is nobody's buying them. They're going rotten in the store. The store's taking the hit. So when they do get more items like that, like perishables, like apples and oranges and stuff, that will go bad, they end up charging more for it because they got to cover their lost leader from nobody buying the super expensive crap and the super expensive crap becoming crap. It's so annoying. And yeah, as for toilet paper and laundry detergent, you'd think the price would stay down, but they know you need it. They know you got to buy it. So they know whatever they charge for it, you're going to end up having to pay unless you get a bidet, which won't help you with your laundry, but you can use vinegar, I guess. I used to use vinegar in my laundry as a laundry detergent. It doesn't make the clothes smell like vinegar, but it does clean them nicely. And that was because I have a skin condition where I can only use certain types of detergent. It's got to be dye-free, scent-free. If I use like Tide, I'm like Itch City forever. Once again, this seems like the Clock Dude Justin freaking commenting on comments here, but that's all right. I appreciate that. Clock Dude 1500 says, I think the last weekend when I was at the grocery store, I was looking at a pack of 3 New York strip steaks that were on sale for $12.99 per pound. Most packs were in the $25 to $30 range. Rewind to about 60 years ago, I used to buy those on sale for $7.99 a pound. You can get a pack of 3 for like 13 bucks. I know, because that's how I was at like freaking Freshco or Food Basics, even Walmart. In 2015, a single man could buy a week's worth of groceries for less than 50 bucks. Can confirm. 3 weeks ago, the same trip was about $75 to $80, and now my girlfriend and I can barely walk out the store without spending 140 bucks a week. And it's true. Like when I go to pick up my week's supply of food, a pack of chicken, like chicken breast, boneless chicken breast, I'm looking at $20 for 6 at Walmart. But that went up to 25 bucks for some reason. And then I went and looked at steak at Walmart, because they got the grade A Angus. 3 steaks was like 40 bucks. Like, it's getting ridiculous. I don't know how people are surviving. Something needs to give. Killer Dragon 1 says, at Walmart, the wife and I would always get the 10-pound ground beef roll and used the food saver to vacuum seal and freeze what we didn't use. That's a good idea, actually. Back around 4 years ago, one was $1.89 a pound, and the other was $1.99 a pound. The same rolls today are $2.99 a pound and $3.69 a pound. We started buying the 10-pound rolls because they were the cheapest and still are. And a lot of my friends, when I showed them the ground beef in a tube, they were so disgusted by it. But it's no different than buying it in like a styrofoam container. It's just they wrap it in a plastic tube. It's the same shit. It's just ground beef. It just comes in a tube instead of on a tray. So, no, I used to buy those too. I don't have a food saver. What I would do is I would just shove them in freezer bags. I like the food saver idea better though, because when you freeze them, they wouldn't freezer burn. I always thought about getting one of those vacuum sealers, just never got around to it, especially for fishing season. When I was catching and keeping fish, great thing to do is you just fill it all up and then freeze what you're not going to eat and save it for later. But yeah, the price of those ground beef tubes has gone up drastically, and it's dumb. Ghost Ma ATVs says, not only have prices gone up, package sizes have shrunk. I know, right? It's like the chicken, like for instance, I buy the chicken breast from Walmart. You get 6 in a package, and the price used to be 20 bucks for 6, 25 for 7, which doesn't make much sense. The weight was around 1.5 kilograms to 1.7 kilograms. Now it's $25 for 6, 30 bucks for 7. And the weight, I haven't seen a package over 1.3 kilograms. It's always a variable weight on those, but the weight has gone down. And it's not like the chicken's really shrunk. It's like they're trimming more off to put in other packages, or they're just rushing the production. I don't know, but yeah, the weight definitely has dropped. The quantity has dropped and the price has gone up, and you get less and you pay more. Beautiful, right? What a time to be alive. 2CV Bloke says, not just inflation that's a problem, it's the shrinkflation. Yeah, we're just talking about that on the previous comment, where the manufacturers reduce the size of the contents of their product but still put the price up, so you're literally paying more for less. So you once could get 500 grams of cheese, but then they cut it to 450, then 425, then 400, then 350. But the price went up because profiting turds want to milk us for every penny they can. And that's the thing. And that's where we're going. And there's no way around it. There's no way to get around it. It's freaking bullshit. Because we need food. We need food to survive. Like, unless you're going to start living off the land and hunting and fishing and trying to eat like wild vegetables, run a garden, which is hard to do up here in the winter because everything dies in the winter. But unless you want to start living off the land, you need to make good money just to survive, and it's sad. KXSCH Lank, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Flyer Day sounds great, or Cooking with the Hobo. Always enjoyed those episodes. I thought about doing some more Cooking with the Hobo. I just need to come up with a better idea for recipes. I pretty much burned through my entire repertoire back in 2009, 2010. So I need to come up with some ideas. I like to revisit the chili episodes and try different styles of chili, or especially because winter's here and chili is an amazing staple for the winter. I was gonna make my carnivore chili again because that came out really good when I brought it to work and won the chili con cook-off with it. It's expensive to make, especially with the current price of items, but it's freaking delicious, and one bowl and you're full for the rest of the day. VA3JPX says, try flyer day using digital flyers, but on a big screen such as a 27-inch screen or bigger, and film that. See, that requires me to have a computer hooked up to it, and well, I have many computers I could use. It's just, I find when you film a computer screen, like certain times, it comes across pretty grainy, where I might be able to get away with the tablet. Now, I do have an old tablet here that I was able to get going. I gotta try some stuff with it to see if I can pull off the same effects. Because if it isn't the same, if it looks like crap, I kind of don't want to go down that route. DiscoveryMan59 says, flyer day is my ringtone. Man, when your phone rings, people must freaking hate you. Bill's T-Mac says, really have to try flyer day digitally. Let the masses decide. Trust me, they'll tell you. And coming from you, bud, I know what you're talking about. Like, because you tried experimental formats as well. You've tried different things, and you probably had some interesting comments from your audience, as I do mine when I try different things, like adding music to videos or something. You know, people lose their shit, and some people like it, some people hate it. Yeah, they'll definitely tell you. They'll tell you if they don't like the way it is. A lot of people really don't like change, and they want everything to be the same, but sometimes we like to change it up as content creators and try different things. Phil2200 says, I have been here since Oreo in the garden with the hose. Bring back flyer day. Oreo in the garden with the hose. That was my first video I ever recorded and put on YouTube, was Oreo and the hose. Him chasing after the stream. That was my first YouTube video in like May 2009. I uploaded that. I didn't upload anything else because I didn't know what to do with YouTube until like, I think it was October 2009 when I started getting really into it, after a friend showed me like Dave's Farm, and then I started watching like Redneck Rickham, and then Crazy British Bloke, and then I was like, oh, okay, these guys aren't building stuff, they're just taking a camera and filming their lives. I can do that. And then I started doing that, and then I started getting into building weird contraptions to get the job done, like IR lights and other stupid things. Camera mounts. You guys remember my whacked out camera mounts? If you've been around since the Skaven days, I would take like those hardware clamps and like put a tripod adapter to it so I could stick it on stuff and have my camera mounted in my vehicles. And oh yeah, good times. Sarah1390 says, I'm at the point of wanting to chuck out some tech out to get the return of physical stuff. Have you got something with a touchpad instead of using the scroll wheel? You can get your phone to cast to a TV. Yeah, I can get my phone to cast to a TV. Every TV in this house has a Google Chromecast attached or built in, and they all will accept casting. Touchpad instead of using the scroll wheel. I have a few laptops kicking around with touchpads, and I'm assuming you're thinking of, for flyer day, of using a laptop instead of a desktop computer. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm still in the do I want to get back into flyer day, and if I do, how do I want to tackle it? Like I said, I have a tablet that I was able to get going, go garbage pick, and I'm gonna see what Android it has. I haven't played with it. I just finally got it to charge after clearing it out and doing some work on it. So I'm gonna give that a go and see if I can get Reeby on there and maybe try a prototype version of flyer day. We'll see what we do. Bulldog Badger says, I think the closest you could get is to have a tablet on the desk and react to that the way you would a physical flyer, and maybe that could work. And that's the exact method I'm trying to go for. I think that could work out the best. That way there I can do the camera tricks and all that fun stuff. The nice thing about a tablet too is it's backlit. And one of the problems I used to have with Flyer Day was the flyers being paper would not produce light. So I'd have to illuminate it. And sometimes those flyers would be glossy and would throw a glare. And sure, it added to the effect that I was filming a piece of paper, but it also made it harder to edit and show what I wanted to. And I had to really play with the camera to get the angle right so I didn't record the glare. I've gone back to the start, bringing the good old days, and I'm currently in year 3. Oh God, year 3, the year when I broke up with the ex, right after the Dominican vacation. Good times. 2CV Bloke says, the paperless digital age really does suck. Having a physical, tangible copy of something is much better than something on a screen, but I guess they have to prioritize making the stockpiles of old bum wipes instead of just in case someone else triggers another shortage. Yeah, I don't know why there was a shortage of bum wipes in 2020. Like, we produce our own here in Canada. We literally have factories that make the stuff. Not sure why we had a shortage. That's pretty dumb. I think it's more or less the cost to print, and seeing how companies want to profit off of as much as they can. Printing costs money, and that's money they can put elsewhere, like into their pockets. GMC New Look says, rip Future Shop. And yeah, we get Crappy Tires, Shoppers Drug Mart, and maybe Bass Pro, that's it. But none of those would be good for Flyer Day. Never mind, Shoppers doesn't really advertise things on sale all that much. See, all I ever get is Canadian Tire, The Brick, and sometimes these like cash for gold flyers. I don't know why they're sending me those. Like, imagine doing a Flyer Day with a cash for gold. That would be the quickest video ever. It'd be 3 seconds long. But yeah, with Canadian Tire no longer a thing, and Best Buy / Future Shop no longer sending out flyers, and even the grocery stores, because they were my favorite flyers to go through because making fun of food was awesome. It's kind of rough, but like I said, I'm going to try a digital idea and we'll see how well that plays out. Justin4N6 says, where I'm at in Louisiana, spitting in public is illegal, as is walking in the street where sidewalks are available. Wow. I wonder how they fine you for spitting in public. Like, what if you're like going to a coughing fit, you gotta hawk like a nasty loogie? Like, what do you gotta do? Like, you can't? Because sometimes that happens, man. We just got through a pandemic and people like to cough, hawk loogies. That's brutal. And the sidewalk thing, you know, I get that. I get that. Shouldn't be finable. Like, it shouldn't be like the cop pulls you over and like gives you a ticket or anything. But it's just common sense. If there's a sidewalk, walk on the sidewalk, and hopefully there's no bikes on the damn sidewalk. I hate that, even though I used to do it. Rack Ridge says, I give bad advice for $10. You know what, bro? I'm going to undercut you and offer the same exact deal, but for $5. Order now. Operators are standing by. VA3JPX says, maybe remove the cabinets below the air fryer and put in a dishwasher. Nah, I don't need a dishwasher. Like, if I had more people living with me, like if I was like my brother, for instance, where he's got a wife and he's got 2 kids, I could see the benefits of a dishwasher. But when you're by yourself, I don't need a dishwasher. I am the dishwasher when I wash dishes. FX Cause says, couldn't you use your latest GoPro as a web camera? You know what? Theoretically, I could use the GoPro Hero 9, the Hero 12. Yeah, I could. They would both work and would probably look pretty damn clean too, because of those high megapixel lenses. I never thought of that. Jessica S2379 says, honestly, I had no idea how my mom did it when we could use our phones while driving. I don't understand that either. I never use my phone while driving. I do remember sometimes she would have to put the phone down to concentrate on switching from express to collectors on the 401. Oh my God, she used her phone on the 401? That highway scares the crap out of me because people drive like assholes on that highway. When I see people on there on their phone, I just shake my head. When it comes to the cupboards, I don't know what color you should change it to, but that toothpaste color is pretty ugly. And I can confirm that toothpaste color is pretty ugly. But I can't believe that part about using your phone on the 401, because that highway is manic. I tend to white knuckle that highway because it's so brutal. Not a big fan of that highway. And guys, that's all we got this week for commenting on comments. Sorry if I didn't get to your comment, but maybe I will next week. Don't forget to comment on the videos, and your comment could be on commenting on comments, and I'll comment on it on a later date. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, you know where to put them. And until next time, guys, live it to win it. Peace the freak out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.